Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 bringing to you yet another awesome yet crazy theory. And it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I thought, what better way to make my return to this series by talking about one of the greatest and most beloved cartoons of all time, the one and only Batman Beyond. And this involves a theory that I don't think has been addressed, not properly, and certainly not to the extent that I'm going to. If there is, please let me know because this is something that I have been agonizing over for a really long time now. I've been trying to come up with different scenarios and different ways this could be addressed in Batman Beyond, and I just couldn't really find the perfect theory to address this. So this is one of those things I really need to get out of my system. And, you know, it's something that's been bugging me for so long now. Me and my friend, we've talked about this so many times over the years. And finally, I think I've come up with a theory that I think could work and certainly would make a lot of sense in terms of the way the story would handle this if they were to ever go down this path one day. And before we continue, I want to give a shout out to two amazing YouTubers, Serum Lake and Blue Knight Beyond, two amazing YouTubers who have put out some incredible Batman related content. Highly recommend you check out both of their channels. They do a fantastic job, and I'm dedicating this theory video to both of them, so hope they like it and hope you guys like it too. So with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. This is my theory of the origin of the Batman Beyond caped suit. So the Batman Beyond caped suit made its first appearance in Justice League Beyond issue 6. And I never forget the first time I saw this costume, I was completely blown away. For starters, I had no idea that this type of Batman Beyond costume actually existed because I always try to imagine in my head what would the Batman Beyond costume look like with a cape. So, as you know already, the costume is red and black and it has a dark red cape. So, the question is, where did the costume come from? How did Bruce make this? We know that Bruce made the high-tech red and black suit so it would allow him to keep up with younger criminals as he got older. But at the same time, we never really knew the origin of the costume. So this is going to be my theory on how I think Bruce Wayne came up with the concept of this costume. So, as all of you remember, in Mystery of the Batwoman, Batwoman's costume had a look and design that is very similar to the look that we would all know for the Batman Beyond costume. So I like to think that thanks to Bruce Wayne's meeting with Batwoman, the look of her costume inspired him to come up with a brand new suit for himself. Because if you look at the Batwoman costume, it's completely dark grey head to toe and has red and of course has a cape. So I like to think in the future when things are starting to change and things are starting to get a bit more cutting edge, I like to think that Bruce Wayne wanted to reinvent himself and try and move with the times. And I also like to think that due to the events of what's happened to Tim Drake at the hands of the Joker before he met his end, thanks to Tim Drake shooting him, the events of this dark, traumatic moment caused Bruce Wayne to retreat within himself and become a lot more darker and a lot more vengeful. So, whereas before, Batman was all about striking fear into the hearts of criminals, now Batman was still all about that, but now going more deeper into his roots and essentially fully embracing the darkness. So I like to think that the red bat emblem on his chest represents a sign of blood, almost like Batman is bleeding. So after what's happened to Tim Drake, this essentially has made Bruce Wayne a lot more vengeful. So I like to think that the black and red costume is inspired by the events of what's happened to Tim Drake, as we learned in Return of the Joker. And in terms of the look, he was heavily inspired by the look of Batwoman's costume, and as I mentioned already, decided to make something of his own, which was very similar to that. And also the reason why he kept the cape is his way of his link to the old Batman, so he didn't completely see a whole new Batman persona. So it was kind of like a bridge between the original Batman and the futuristic Batman going forward. So you can kind of say that this was more of a transitional Dark Knight. So he's moving away from the original traditional Batman we know and transforming into a much more darker Batman that the future criminals would come across. Now, one of the big features of the Batman Beyond suit is of course the invisible camouflage, which allows Batman to be invisible and blend into dark corners and into coloured buildings. Now, the invisible camouflage made its first appearance in an episode called See No Evil from Batman the Animated Series, and Lloyd Ventrix, who was a lab technician, stole the materials which allowed him to create a suit where he would be invisible and commit robberies. Now, I like to think that Bruce took the idea of this invisible suit and applied it to the Batman Beyond suit, but improved on it, because it was always said in the See No Evil episode that it was dangerous to the person who was wearing it. So I like to think that Bruce took it to Wayne Enterprises, perfected it, improved on it, added some upgrades, and applied it to the Batman Beyond suit, or at least the first version of the Batman Beyond suit, because as I said earlier, Bruce is moving with the times, technology is growing more advanced every single day, and of course he's a billionaire, he's got the budget, he can practically build an entire Batsuit himself, which he does go on to do anyway. So I like to think that the invisible camouflage was taken inspiration from Lloyd Ventrix's invisible suit, but just in the right hands of good, someone like Bruce Wayne, he would use this as a way to completely make himself invisible to his enemies and able to sneak up on them in a much more darker and sinister way than he ever did in his original Batman persona. And there you have it, guys, my theory of the origin of the Batman Beyond caped suit. Now, officially, the Batman Beyond caped suit has never appeared in any other media, with the exception of the Justice League Beyond comic issue 6, and it's never been referenced in any of the cartoons. We've never seen any designs of it in animation, so who knows really. If we do get a Batman Beyond prequel series one day, maybe we might finally see this costume in the media. Who knows, but we'll just have to wait and see really. But that's pretty much my theory on how I think Bruce Wayne came up with the concept of the Batman Beyond caped suit. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. Do you agree with this theory? Do you think Bruce Wayne took inspiration from the Batwoman costume? Or do you think he decided to go in a different direction due to the events of Return of the Joker? What do you guys think? Do you have your own theories on how Bruce Wayne created the Batman Beyond caped suit? You know what to do, guys. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another awesome yet crazy theory. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.